In this lesson, we're going to talk about sorting data and filtering data. So once you've got a table of data in your spreadsheet, there's a couple of buttons that you should be aware of that can help you navigate your way around that data through either searching for values using filters or by just simply sorting the data in a particular order. So if I select the table that we have here in the top left hand corner, which has the 12 months of the year, and I go to the data tab just here, the first thing you'll see is there's three sort buttons in the middle here. The left two ones are kind of quick sort buttons, if you like. So if you already know that you're going to sort by the column that you've got selected, then you can use these. At the moment, I've got column A selected, and that's indicated by the one cell in this range that's blank. So if I was to click on A to Z there, then it would sort the data from A to Z in the month column. So let's just do that now. Now you'll note first of all that Excel has noticed that row number 1 is the headers of the table, and it hasn't included those in the data that's sorted. But for the rest of the table, it has sorted it by alphabetical order from A to Z. And if you do it the other way around from Z to A, then it will sort that too. Interesting to see that the chart that we've got down here at the bottom, which is based on this data, is also changing based on the order that we're placing them in. I'm going to click undo here twice, so it's back in the January to December format. Now, if I wanted to sort by the sales column, I would actually have to go and click into the sort menu, and you can see at the moment there is no particular sort on there, so we can put one in there, and we're going to click on sales. So Excel already knows that row 1 are the header rows for our table, and it gives us the option of smallest to largest or largest to smallest. So if I click it from largest to smallest and then click OK, you can see that it's put the highest numbers at the top and the lowest numbers at the bottom. And going back into that sort menu, you can actually add in lots of levels of sorting. So if you've got 3 columns and you want to sort first by column A, then by column B, then by column C, then you can do that in here by clicking on the Add Level button. If your data does not have headers like mine does here in row 1, you could click the My Data Has Headers checkbox here so that it's unchecked, and that way it would sort the entire column. So I'm going to sort by column A to Z, and you'll see that it would actually include the header that was in row 1 in the sort, which we wouldn't want to do, but there might be some cases where you don't have a header where that you would want to do that. Okay, so that's sorting data. The other thing to be aware of is filtering. Filtering is a really useful tool for only displaying the data that you actually want to see. So that can be used to several different ends depending on what kind of data you're looking at. So thinking about the table that we've got in front of us just here, if I went into sales and down to the number filters column, I can actually say, I only want to see sales that are greater than 30,000. And click OK, and that would just filter the data down. Now note that it hasn't actually deleted any of the data, it's just hiding the rows basically, so that we only see the data that meets that criteria. So I'll clear that criteria. Let's try another one. I'll go down to number filters, and there's a top 10 option just here, so I could click on displaying the top 3 items by value, and it shows them there. And finally I could go in there and I could select ones that are below the average. So there's some really useful options there. Excel already knows what the average is, and it's already worked out which ones are below average. So you can do that to filter through or browse through your data to try to get to the root cause of what you're trying to identify. Or if you're just trying to display particular subsets of that data. Now that's how it works for a numerical field. If you wanted to do it for a text field, you can also have equals, does not equal, or contains with. So So if I just wanted to say equals January, it would filter on January. Or I could say it contains the word airy, and it would also include February. I'll click clear there. So filters can be used for a huge number of things. Very useful. Just bear in mind when you're trying to set up the filters that you have the mouse clicked into the header cell on the row where you want the filters to appear. And also note that you can only have one set of filters on a sheet at one time. So if I wanted to also have a set of filters on that table, then that wouldn't work. Also, it's worth mentioning that when you have filters switched on, the rows turn to blue on the left-hand side where you're using your filters. And that's an easy way to remind yourself that there are filters switched on and there's some hidden rows here in the background that you're not seeing. So always remember, if you pick up somebody else's spreadsheet and you see blue rows here, that means they're using autofilter, and you may need to unfilter on that data to get to all of the underlying data.